So hello again, everyone. Charles Banfield here with another Karate Canucks conversation. And this time it's my sincere pleasure to be joined by Sensei Germain Bisson. Sensei Bisson began his martial arts journey in 1973 at the age of 10, training under the tutelage of Sensei Gilbert Kingsbury. In 1980, he received his Shodan, or first degree black belt, from the Fédération québécoise de Karaté, where he was graded by the technical committee, which was presided over by Sensei Fern Cléroux. In 1985, Sensei Bisson opened Karaté Cama dojo in Gatineau, Quebec. And in 1987, after completing his undergraduate degree in business administration from the Université du Québec à Hull, he decided to dedicate his life to karate and teach it full time. Today, Karaté Cama is a flourishing Chito-Ryu Karate-do dojo, run in partnership with his wife, Sensei Lyne Laroche, who's a former guest on this podcast. And their dojo has a tradition of developing many provincial, national, and international competitors and champions. After taking part in several summer camps hosted by Ottawa-based Sensei Harvey Brown and led by the legendary Sensei Shane Higashi, Sensei Bisson joined the Canadian Chito-Ryu Karate-do Association in 1989. He was motivated to do so by Sensei Higashi's caring and welcoming nature, and has been his student ever since. Over the years, Sensei Bisson would add many ranks, titles, and accolades to his resume. In 2018, he became the provincial technical director of the Association Chito-Ryu Traditionnel de Quebec. Sorry, my French tongue is not that great. In 2020, he was appointed chair of the Canadian Chito-Ryu Karate-do Association's Psycho Shihan Council. In May 2024, Sensei Bisson was promoted to the rank of Kudan, or 9th degree black belt, and received the title of Hanshi by Sensei Shane Higashi, who is the Psycho Shihan of the World Chito-Ryu Karate-do Federation. As a competitor and a coach, let's turn the heat off here, he has achieved almost too many awards to list, but I will list a few examples. So he was a bronze medalist in Team Kumite at the 1991 Pan American Championships, multi-time gold and silver medalist in individual and Team Kumite divisions in 1991 and 1992 at the Pan American Karate Federation's North American Cup, gold medalist in both individual and Team Karate divisions, Team Kumite division, at the 1992 National Karate Association, now known as Karate Canada, Canadian Championships, silver medalist in Team Kumite in the 1992 Soke Cup, that was held in Australia, and gold medalist at the Soke Cup in 1998. Over the years, Sensei Bisson has dedicated much of his time in support of sport karate across Canada. He's a certified World Karate Federation Kumite coach, a certified NCCP Level 3 coach, and a competition development coach, and is also a chartered professional coach with the Coaching Association of Canada. With the Fédération québécoise de Karaté and Karaté Quebec, he has been an athlete, a coach, a head coach, and has served as president. And with Karate Canada, he has served as vice president, member of long-term athlete development, of the long-term athlete development program committee, and as a coach to several junior and senior national teams. Sensei Bisson's list of awards and recognitions is also extensive and includes, but is certainly not limited to, winner of the Ross Rumble Award and induction into the Karate Canada Hall of Fame in 2008. He was inducted into the Canadian Karate Association Hall of Fame in 2016 and inducted into the Canadian Black Belt Hall of Fame in 2022, which I had the privilege to witness firsthand. So I can vouch for that one for sure. And I can go on, but I'll leave it here for now, though I expect some more details will emerge during this discussion. So welcome, Sensei Bisson. It's a pleasure to finally have you as a guest on this podcast.
Thank you very much. And it's an honor for me to be here with you tonight. So we're going to have a good discussion.
Yes, I am looking forward to it. So before we get into it, and I've done this a few times when I've interviewed people from my own association. So, in the interest of full disclosure for anyone watching this, I should add that I am a member of the same Chito-Ryu Karate-do organization that is led by Sensei Higashi and Sensei Bisson. And while I'm not a direct student of either, um, given that I'm currently a Sandan and a Shodan in Chito-Ryu, they will both sit on the evaluation panel if or when I ever get the opportunity to challenge for any future ranks. So just wanted to put that out there. Also, since first exploring the idea of starting this podcast several years ago, Sensei Bisson has been at the top of my list of people to interview. And so today, to say it's an honor to have this opportunity is an absolute understatement. And I sincerely thank you, Sensei, for agreeing to speak with me today.
Thank you very much.
So, with all of that said, let's begin with how we normally do with this podcast. And we'll start with a few general background questions like where are you from? Where did you grow up? And what prompted you to start your martial arts journey?
I was born in a small town called Boileau. So it's maybe 45 minutes, an hour from Gatineau, or the section of Gatineau is Masson-Angers. So when I was 3 years old, my parents, they moved from that little town, Boileau, and they come to Masson-Angers in the Gatineau now. So I arrived here at 3 years old. I'm the number 7 in a big family. We are 8. So it was, I got a sibling and sisters, so it was fun in the house. I started karate at 10 years old, but I've done a little bit of judo before because judo was during that time in 71, 72, it was very popular in Quebec. So I became a yellow belt at the age of 9. But I started karate with Sensei Gilbert Kingsbury in Buckingham, a small town close to Masson-Angers. See, together at Masson-Angers and Buckingham, those days, there were maybe 20,000 people. So it's really small place. So everybody knows everybody. So I like that because I'm a family guy. So I started with Sensei Kingsbury. My dad brought me there because he wanted me to gain self-confidence, maybe learn how to do some self-defense. But I wanted to join because it wasn't during the Bruce Lee movie. So I was
Yeah.
really attracted by Bruce Lee. I wanted to become invincible like him. So that's why I joined karate in 1973.
Yeah. So the judo, you weren't getting that feeling of confidence and so on from the judo practice, or was that more of a sport to you than a
No, no,
martial art?
but those days I was more attracted about the striking part, I think. Yeah. But
Yeah. Okay.
judo was famous. Almost every little town they had a judo instructor in those days. But karate
Hmm.
was starting up in 73. See, when I start, they didn't have any children class. We had a children class once a week, Saturday morning. So after that, you move, let's say at 14, 15, you move with the adult.
Right.
But after that, 70, 75, 80, now we saw the children coming in. Yeah.
Excellent. So can you share a little bit about Sensei Kingsbury then? He was a student of is it Sensei Langelier or is it
Yeah.
Sensei Sylvain?
Yeah, he was a student of Sensei Langelier. See, everybody started with Sensei Langelier first in the region. See, karate arrived in Toronto with Sensei Chiroka.
Hmm.
And the first, outside Toronto, the first place they went, it was in Ottawa. So in
Sure.
Ottawa, Sensei Langelier started in the 60s, almost at the same time as Higashi Sensei. So
Oh, okay.
he started Chito-Ryu with Chiroka Sensei plus Shotokan with another guy in Montreal. Sometime it was with Ari Anastasiadis, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I
He,
was
the
going to
fa-
ask about him. Yeah.
yeah, he was the father of Canadian Shotokan. See, he
Yes.
was the first one, but they trained with another instructor. I forget the name, but Sensei Kingsbury was there when O Sensei in 1967 when he visit Ottawa. So Gilbert Kingsbury was there, Georges Chauvin was there, Fern Cléroux, who became maybe the best known of the group. It was a really, so I started in Chito-Ryu. It was Chito-Ryu, same Chito-Ryu as Chiroka Sensei was teaching those days. So Sensei Kingsbury was one of the first students of Langelier.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, I'd seen his name come up several times. I think on my website, there's a slideshow that kind of
Yeah.
scrolls through, and I think Sensei Kingsbury is on one of the images. He's got the big hair, the beard, and so on.
No,
I
no,
think that's
no, that one is Richard Charon. See,
okay,
okay, when I joined the class, the first one was with Richard Charon. He was teaching the kids class. He was the senpai there. He was a green belt.
okay, okay,
Sensei Kingsbury, he's a short guy with glasses
okay. I had him pegged incorrectly then, but either way, yeah,
and Richard Charon. Later, he became one of my students. So my senpai, the one who taught me the first in 73, for the
yeah.
last more than 20 years, is a member of Karaté Cama.
Yes, I've had the pleasure of meeting him as well, actually.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, so okay, interesting. So I will have to make a note for myself that that's not Sensei Kingsbury. That's somebody else that I actually know.
I
So in terms of, you brought up a few instructors there. Are there other influences or other key instructors that you've had over the years, or even some students that were really notable that you may want to speak about?
see, I started in 73, so it's 52 years this year in October. I started in 73 in October. So now it's 52 years. So I met so many people. See, Sensei Gilbert Kingsbury, I learned from him the passion for competition. See, those days we were doing, when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe we were doing like maybe 15 to 20 tournament a year in the open circuit. So we've done a lot of tournament, regional and provincial. I remember one day when we said to us, we're going to go to Toronto or to another. So it was like, wow, we're traveling around the world. It was so nice to go. So Sensei Kingsbury, he had a small dojo, but he produced really good athletes. After that, Sensei Cléroux he coached me. So Fern Cléroux was one of the best coach I ever met. So he knew Higashi Sensei like a lot. I got some picture. They were together. A famous picture from Sensei Sam Moletsky when he's doing. No, that's Rivendell. Sorry, but he's on a picture with. Is it Jim Hart? I think, or they are together with Sensei Cléroux.
Yes. Okay.
So I passed my Shodan in front of Sensei Cléroux. He gave me a lot. After that, I went to train with Sensei Luc Maisonneuve. Sensei Luc Maisonneuve was a student of Sensei Cléroux, and with him, we were part of the Buto Kukai. So
Mm,
for 4 years, I was a member of the Buto Kukai under Richard Kim, Sensei Richard Kim. So I passed my Shodan in front of the Quebec Fédération, my Nidan in front of Luc Maisonneuve, Sandan with the Buto Kukai. When I met Sensei Kim, 87, 88, 89, I went to Guelph for a summer camp, Buto Kukai summer camp. It was amazing. I remember one time we were practicing some kumite things with Luc Maisonneuve and Sensei Cléroux. Sensei Kim, he said to us, "You're French people." Because French people, he said, normally they're really good kumite guy. Not so in kata. So we started to laugh. And he asked us about Chito-Ryu, and he said, you should join Chito-Ryu, traditional Chito-Ryu. But at the same period, I had the chance to meet with Sensei Higashi. So those 87, 88, 89 was like very important for me.
yeah, they were pivotal time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my region, we were not deciding, are we going to follow the traditional Chito-Ryu, or a lot of them, they move with Shotokan group. So one summer, I had the chance to train with Sensei Richard Kim. He told us you should go with the traditional Chito-Ryu. I trained with a guy named Toru Yamaguchi in Shotokan, very famous.
Yep.
And after that, I went to the Sensei Brown summer camp, Ottawa Chitokai summer camp. and I met Higashi Sensei for the third time. When I arrived, I saw him on the ground, sweeping a young kid, teasing him, play like this with his hair. I said, that's it. I'm going to do a move. But the toughest part was to say to my friend Luc Maisonneuve, who really helped me in Kumite. He was one of the best fighters in Canada. Now I had to tell him I'm going to switch now. I'm going to move with Higashi Sensei. But he was one of my best friends. So in '89, that's when I switched with Sensei Higashi.
So, and you did that as a Sandan, you said, as a
I was
third
already
degree.
a Sandan.
Yeah.
I remember going to the camp. I don't remember which year, but Sensei Giffen was there. Sensei Robertson was there. So he asked me to be in the front line. He said, you know Higashi Sensei. He said, you're a Sandan, so you be on the front line. But
Yeah.
I didn't know Nisei Shi or Sochin Tenshin. So I think he wanted to discover who I was. I've
Yeah.
done some kumite with Peter Geffen, some kumite with Sensei Robertson. It was tough kumite, but at the end we all laughed.
Hmm.
So I was happy. But the best decision was to go with Higashi Sensei. It changed
Yeah.
everything. So I discovered a man who become like a mentor to me, a role model, a sensor friend. So now I discovered what was Budo. First, it was more like doing karate for sports.
Hmm.
Higashi Sensei, you could discover the Budo. So right now, the number one person who was a mentor to me was Higashi Sensei. Since '89, like it changed my life.
Yeah. 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 It's a different mindset, I guess, coming from sport to Budo and yeah, it's from the outside, most people, I think, that only dabble in karate, they don't understand the difference, right? It's one
No,
is a
no.
way of life, another is almost like a hobby, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I joined, I said to Higashi Sensei, so it's '89. I started in '73, so it was 16 years. I said to Higashi Sensei, I'm going to try to forget everything. I'm going to learn everything new. He said, no, no, keep what you know. Bring what you know to us. Please
Yeah.
share it with us. So I was, wow. But he said, now you're going to redo your Shodan, Nidan, and Sandan. So I had to do. Some other people in my region, they were not too happy. They said, how come they don't respect us that we grade you? But I said, that's okay. I'm sure he's testing me. So since that day, I never asked Higashi Sensei about grading. He was the one telling me, "Hey, I would like you to challenge." And Higashi Sensei used that word. I want you to challenge for your Shodan again, Nidan, Sandan. So from
Yeah.
Shodan with him to Heidan, I didn't say nine Dan. I didn't ask for anything. Yeah,
And I guess Sensei Gashi introduced you to a few more, like Sensei Kugizaki.
yeah.
Um,
1995, I went in Japan with Higashi Sensei. So I was there for 2 weeks at the Hombu Dojo.
mhm.
So the first 5 days, Higashi Sensei was there, so I was really surprised. In the morning class, 45 minutes, Seiza, I had the knee was hurting, but since Higashi was there, so we started the training with Soke Sensei, and
Mhm.
Higashi Sensei followed everything. He didn't say a word. And I don't know if you remember Soke Sensei, but he was doing a lot of speed drill. But Higashi Sensei was following everything.
Yeah.
After that, he left. So I was there and I had a chance to train with Sakamoto. He was at the
Mhm.
dojo too. Every morning class was Soke, night class was Sakamoto Sensei, plus Tanaka Sensei and Shiogai. And after that, I was lucky enough because of Higashi Sensei to meet Kogizaki Sensei, Imamura, Akutagawa, Inomoto Sensei was famous. So I was
Minamoto.
really
Yeah.
lucky. Yeah. And
Yeah.
in the same period, I was doing Aikido. So I've done Aikido for 2 years with Sensei Patrick Auger. It was Yosekan Budo. When I said 87, 88, 89, those years, and after that was really important. As a member of Patrick Auger's organization, I was able to meet a really famous guy, Minoru Mochizuki.
Mhm.
Mochizuki Sensei was a
Yep.
student of Kano Sensei, Ushiba
Yep.
Sensei, and different kind of karate. So I met him. It was like, wow, that was so during those years. So it was Sensei Kim, it was Sensei Higashi, Mochizuki Sensei. I said, that's it. My life's going to be the Budo part. Sports is like a hobby I like to do. I
Yep.
love it. I loved it when I was 10. I'm 50, 62. I still love it. I'm a good coach. I like to coach. But the real passion is the Budo side, the Budo part. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned coaching or being an instructor. Are there any, and it's like hard picking the favorite of your children, perhaps, but are there any that really sort of stand out for you that like the one that I know in particular is Roch Laflamme. I know he was still is, I guess, a phenomenal kumite
Yeah.
fighter. But we were talking earlier, and you mentioned there were several others. You said you had 100 and something students that have competed internationally and nationally and so on. And
We see when you go to the nationals, you need to be part of the provincial team.
Mhm.
Say you have to be a member. So in Quebec, we do three selection. At the end of the three selection, they're going to decide who's the member of the Quebec team. Right now, what they do, it's three per category in kumite. So if you got 20 people in your category, they only pick three. So through the year, 133 different people made the Quebec team and went to the nationals. Since we joined in 89, we went to 34 nationals. And I don't want to say that as we're better than others, but we won 708 medals, 708 medals. 304 medals, gold medals.
Mm-hmm.
So the sports aspect, it's not that important.
Yeah.
It's who the athlete become. So from the beginning, the sports or the traditional Chito-Ryu, for me, it's the same. It's not a conflict in my mind. I use this as a purpose to help them to become the best version of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's my goal. So when I was at 20 years old, see, I went to college and we had philosophy course. Other people, they didn't like the philosophy course, but I really liked it. So, and the psychological part of it to help the young one. See, Roch Laflamme, because you mentioned Roch,
Mm-hmm.
Roch at 14, 15, 16, 17, he didn't make the Quebec team. He tried, he tried, he tried. He lost, he didn't win it. Zero. Other members of the dojo, they were making it. They become really good. A guy like Stéphane Dubuc. They were really two good friends.
Yeah.
But Roch, instead of quit karate, he continued.
Mm-hmm.
At 18, he made the national team, the Quebec team. 19, he was part of the national team. After that, he finished fifth at the world. Pan American champion, I don't know, 9 or 10 time Canadian champion. Only
Yeah.
he never won a medal in the junior division. So he's a late, we call that a late bloomer.
Mm-hmm.
But his friend Stéphane Dubuc was an early bloomer.
Yeah.
So at 14, he was fighting like a man. But Roch he was slower than. So using sports or traditional, we help them to become the best version of themselves. Or I think in Japanese, they call that honore nikatsu, meaning is winning over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
See? So from the beginning, I felt that I had a mission of helping people to become a better human being. One of my sisters, she was calling me an apôtre, somebody who represent Jesus Christ.
Oh, apostle. Yeah, an apostle. Yeah.
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 So that was a joke. She was laughing at me. But I said that's okay. But after 40 years, the number of kids, student who become an adult, who now they brought me their kids, I don't know the number. It's amazing. So
Yeah.
I'm not really I'm proud of winning medals and my student at the national. Everybody are proud of that. But just imagine that somebody, what's for a parents, what's more important than their kids?
Mm-hmm.
They bring their kids to us at Karaté Cama. They said, please teach them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's certainly an expression of trust,
Yeah,
when you have the kids and sometimes the grandkids coming in, so.
yeah, yeah.
So you mentioned that so when you started karate, it was Chito-Ryu, but it was the Sensei Soroka version of Chito-Ryu. So
Yeah.
which had a kind of a blending of Shotokan
Yeah.
and
Same
traditional
as
Chito-Ryu.
same as what Higashi Sensei learned. See,
Exactly.
at first, it was Chito-Ryu, but through the year, I think, maybe I'm wrong, through the year they had some Shotokan in it. So and
Yeah,
it all changed. It's all changed, I think, around 1979. So when they had a big split, so Troka Sensei created his own association who became
yes,
Troka Karate-do, and it
yeah.
was more towards Shotokan. So when I started, I learned Shiohai, Niseishi, but Shiohai with Kebadashi and Zenko Dash, but also the 5 Yan. So it was a mix.
Yeah, yeah. The first karate I did as well was called Kempo, but it was Shotokan based, but it had Shiohai, it had the Chito-Ryu version almost of Seisan, and a few other things that were very similar. So yeah, so that was the karate that I guess that was the Soroka influence and so
Yeah,
on. So
because yeah, Troka Sensei was the first one, so he brought that. So Shiohai, Seisan, Basai, Chinto.
yeah.
See, when I was in the other association, Chito was one of the highest kata. For us, it's for the brat for Shodan. But before
Hmm.
it was one of the top kata.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So when you made the switch over in 1989 to train with Sensei Higashi, so that would have been 10 years after the curriculum kind of changed, or not
Mhm.
changed, but it was adopting the more traditional version, or Sensei's version of or vision of Chito-Ryu. Um, what was the training like when you first started with Sensei Higashi versus what was the
But
training like
first,
now?
but for, first I met Higashi Sensei first time in 1982 when O Sensei gave seminar across Canada. So I participate at the O Sensei seminar in Montreal. So I went
Oh,
there.
so you were there with those sensei as
Yes,
well.
yes, I was
Oh,
there. I was
wow.
19 years old, but I was more in the competition. So I saw O Sensei. Tell you the truth, I saw an elderly guy. He didn't do too much. What I
Right.
saw, Soke Sensei was really good. I saw Higashi Sensei. And those guys they were amazing. Because we didn't during that seminar we didn't do any kumite. Everything was about Kion, Waza, Kata, application, some application. O Sensei have done some Goshin Jitsu. It was amazing.
Mhm.
I remember saw Michael Delaney, Sensei Delaney. He jumped and do something. I said, wow. So I was really attracted by that, but I still was a member I was competing in the open circuit.
Yeah.
So in 87, 88, 89, I went to visit Sensei Harvey Brown because he was friend with Saint Luc Maisonneuve. So Sensei Brown was the first one to help me. So I learned a little bit during the summer camp. It was like crazy a little bit. A lot of punch, a lots of kick and repeat, repeat. So that was Higashi Sensei. But one summer, I think it was more 89, I went to the Sensei Brown's dojo. So I learned some basic with him. And he gave me a really good advice. He said to me, because I said to him, I want to join, I want to switch. It's a big thing for me. I need to relearn everything, blah, blah, blah. He said that it's going to be okay because he's done the same thing a couple of years before me. So he was from a group of André Langelier. So same thing. So I follow him a little bit. So he
Right.
taught me and I said, how much is it for the class? He said, it's nothing. I just want to help you. So Sensei Brown was a key person. I respect him like crazy because he helped me and introduced me to Higashi Sensei. And after that, we met Higashi Sensei, and now all the training was quite physical those days. And he was like always serious, but outside when it was during a break, he was making joke. But when we started practice, was no joke.
Yeah.
Discovered like wow. And my English was not too good, so I was exchanging a little bit with him. But so I really enjoy it because I like personally I like when we train hard physically. So with Higashi, since you have that, but I discover his student in Toronto, he was more strict with them than it was with us. So I remember he was like, wow. So the first time I went to Toronto, I was surprised because it was like, wow. But for me, it was the human side that impressed me the most.
Yeah.
To be strict, Kingsbury was like that. I remember, so Kingsbury was hitting people in the chest with a punch or kicking the leg, or it was like that when we started karate. That's why not too many kids, not too many women were there. It was more like for male who wanted to challenge each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Pain was much more of a factor, I think.
Yes.
Perhaps. Yeah.
You cannot do that those today.
No, no, not in the same way for sure. No. So the training you said when you started with Sensei Higashi was very physical, very challenging that way. Would you say that the training with him over the years has, how would you say it's evolved? Has it gotten more technical? Has it gotten,
I think it
how would
happened.
you describe the change?
Okay. I think it followed the Shingitai principle and the Shuhali principle.
Hmm.
If we look at Osensei Chitose, some of his first students, one was Yamamoto Sensei, the long
Yep.
hair. He was famous as a fighter,
Yep.
not as a kata guy. Maybe he was good in kata, but nobody talks about his kata. Everybody they talk about. So Higashi Sensei was the same. In 1970, John Carnio finished second at the first World Championship. He was Higashi Sensei student. Sensei
Hmm.
Alan Scholl, who was one of the best in those days, he said he wanted to train with Higashi Sensei because it was a fighters club. So because Higashi Sensei was young and he was fighting, and he was the first Canadian champion. People that were saying he was like not good, but super good. No, nobody talks about that. But
Hmm.
like maybe I'm working on a historical book about Higashi Sensei, and I have the chance to discuss a lot with other people. So Higashi Sensei was able to fight everybody during a class. He start from there because of Shingitai, because of Shuhari, because of the responsibility, because he had to share his what he learned from O Sensei. So he had responsibility to develop all the Chito-Ryu club across Canada. So
Hmm.
it was more like it was more technical, it was more precise, it was more like, oh, Sensei, I've said this, we should do this. So it was not about him anymore. It was more about be the person who's going to transfer the information to us, give us the information he learned from Churoka Sensei and from O Sensei.
So it became less of a fighters club and more of a, like, still a lot of fighting, but more
Yeah.
technical focus, right?
More technical, and the responsibility of make sure we do the curriculum of O Sensei.
Hmm.
That's a big responsibility for one person. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Higashi Sensei was traveling almost not every weekend, but maybe half of the weekend during the year. So that was amazing. So and now and I'm lucky because he asked me to travel a couple of years ago. So people they do 99%, 90% everything the same. Higashi Sensei attract the same kind of people. His type of leadership, because he knows he got a lots of charisma. He knows how to unite the people. So when you go in BC or in Alberta, you feel like it's a one big family. Same thing. Next week, I'm going to New Brunswick. I'm going to feel at home. But that's because of Higashi Sensei, because he's that type of person.
Yeah.
But if you talk with people who were there in the 60s, it was not like that. See, he was teaching, he was telling them, if we're going to in the tournament, first place, that's the only thing matter.
Yeah.
If you finish second or third, you lose.
Yeah.
See
Hmm.
that type of, and but he was asking that from his student, but he was asking that for him too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had the chance to talk with older guy, and they say he was doing everything. It was amazing, but he never talked about that. Nobody it doesn't allow people that we talk about him. But I'm not afraid now to talk about him.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting insight. Is not really surprising though, because back in the 60s, Sensei Higashi would have been in his 20s and, in his physical prime and very competitive and very talented. So yeah, I'm sure he was driving his students in the same way he was driving himself. So
But my
yeah,
student,
sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
go, go. No, go.
No, I was going to say, for me, my experience, I've not known him that long. I've known him for maybe 12 years or so. And so he's always been like this grandfatherly type of
Yeah, yeah.
figure. He takes care of the kids, make sure everybody's having a good time, make sure everybody's well fed, when they go out
Yeah,
for
yeah.
dinner. So, but the training is a challenge, but he will stop and he will talk and he will laugh and things like that. So I'm sure that the Higashi Sensei that I know is very different from the ones that people knew in the 60s and the 70s and
Oh no, no,
and so
that's for
on. Right?
sure. But that's normal, I think.
Yeah.
In the Budo development, see, if we accept that Shingi Tai is really important, in your
Hmm.
20s, the Tai aspect means a lot. It's almost everything. But
Yeah.
you start to understand things. So the gi it's important too. But the Shin, it's more at 50, 60, 70, 80. See, I was reading a book about Mochizuki Sensei, the guy from Yosekan Budo. When he
Hmm.
was young, he was already doing MMA because he was a guy from Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Aikido, Karate. So he was able to do like mix everything. But at the end of his life, he was saying that the most important thing is it's Wano Seishin, the spirit of peace and harmony.
Yeah. Yeah.
With martial arts, we should create Wano Seishin, the spirit of harmony between the people. So I think
Yeah.
it follow your progression in Budo. So O-sensei, when he was teaching, when he was young, I'm sure he was not the same when he was 80 years old.
Oh no. And well, you mentioned, mixed martial artists. I'm sure, Sensei is a similar thing. Like he had, a lot of cross training that he was doing and a lot of different
Yeah.
skills and styles. And yeah, yeah, it's I'm in my mid 50s now, and I still in my head I'm in my 20s, but my body tells me I'm not, and I'm starting to understand that progression now a bit more, right? So less about strength, more about being at peace.
Yeah, wisdom.
Wisdom too, if I pay attention. Yeah,
Yeah, we have to. We have to.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So Chito-Ryu is in Canada, at least, it's recognized as one of the five major styles, right? In by Karate Canada, but it's still relatively small when you compare it to the other ones. Shotokan, Shito-Ryu, Wado-Ryu, and Goju-Ryu are the other big ones, right?
Mhm.
Even in Japan, Chito-Ryu is largely a southern Japan regional kind of style or system. It's not really well known throughout Japan. Um, What are your thoughts on why it is not more, Chito-Ryu is not more well known, in Japan, in Canada, and elsewhere?
Okay. Um, see, O-sensei, one time O-sensei was member of the All Japan Karate Federation. In some book they say he was a director, other place they say he was a vice president. During those years, O-sensei was recognized as one of same thing as Funagoshi and Mabuni Sensei and Otsuka Sensei from Wado-ryu, same thing. Yeah, Chojo Miyagi. At a certain age, I think they wanted to use him as a father figure, but he didn't have any say on the decision making.
Mm.
So I think he quit after. So he started his own thing, like other Okinawan traditional style. So after that, he was not part of the official group. JKF in Japan, they recognize the four major style.
Right.
So they're recognized by their CEO, the CEO, Olympic Committee. So the Olympic Committee, they say we don't care too much about the style. Or Sport Canada, they don't care about which style it is in Canada. They're going to say your instructor needs to learn the NCCP. That's more important there than their Sandan or
Hmm.
Godan. We don't care about that. So Chito-Ryu become a smaller style because it was not part of the official group, I think. All the group, every country, they want to be part of their Olympic committee. Like Canadian Olympic Committee, you want to be part of that. To be part of that, you need to be recognized by your national federation.
Right.
National federation in Japan, the four major style, but at once Osensei was with the top one,
Hmm.
but he decided not to be involved politically, I think. So it become less. So now everybody in the world, because it's lots of people, they're practicing it for sports. If you want to be part of the official, so you're going to learn a style with in it. See, in my region, less than maybe 30%, I don't know, let's say 50% of the karate practitioner, they're not involved with Karate Quebec. So they do their own stuff. It's more than 60% across Canada, I'm sure. They're not involved in any association. They only their small group.
Right.
So Chito-Ryu become less and less because we were not part of the four major style. Long time ago, if you wanted to compete in kata, you had to learn. They were calling that shite kata from the four style. So let's say
Hmm.
right now our people they want to do Chito-Ryu kata internationally, they're not allowed.
It's not accepted or not recognized.
It's not recognized. So Kyokushinkai want to do it, same thing. It's not recognized.
Mm.
Somebody do a traditional Rei Chiryu from Okinawa. It's not recognized. See, now it become politics. So I
Yeah.
think I think Osensei didn't want to be. In Canada, it was a little bit different. Everybody who learned karate in Canada for the last, let's say 40 years ago, they all learned Chito-Ryu. So I got
Because of
I got
Soroka
lots
Sensei.
of friends who are doing
Yeah.
Shotokan now. Sensei Samoletsky is Shito, but he was Chito first.
That's correct. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
so they have background of Chito-Ryu.
Hmm.
Other style from Okinawa, people because of the army who was in the Okinawa, so they learned it and they brought it outside Okinawa. So they helped to spread. The JKA group, they were like super intelligent. They created the famous instructor course. So they picked the best one in university. So Chito-Ryu was not really in university. It was more like Shotokan, Shito-Ryu, and a little bit of Goju-Ryu. But Shito and Shotokan a lot.
Hmm.
So they went to university. After that, they went to the instructor course. And after that, JKA, they sent it around the world.
Yeah.
That's why they built.
They sponsored
Oh, yeah.
ambassadors, I guess, that would go to, yeah.
Every place around the world.
Yeah.
So Nishiyama, Kanazawa, Henneoda, Shirai, name it, because I've read lots of books. So they were sent by. So they asked them, would you move to Canada to teach their Shotokan Karate JKA? So the JKA, if they didn't have the big split, they would have controlled the world. But it's one type of karate.
Yeah.
It was a karate built during the war where it's like the spirit and kime and breaking everything. It was different, really
Yeah.
famous. But Chito-Ryu was a little bit different. So I
Yes.
think I think
Much
it's
different.
because of that.
Okay. So politics largely.
And lots of politics, but maybe good politics. But you have to play. So that's why Chito-Ryu was really involved in Canada because they play politics. We had people across Canada. They were doing Chito-Ryu.
Yeah. Well, it helps that we were first as well, right? Like,
It helps, yeah.
amongst the first, right? You mentioned Sensei Anastasia Diaz.
Yes.
Well, but he was just in the Montreal area, I
He was
believe,
only in
right?
Montreal, but he was working as on the airplane. So something was there, something was not there. So he was traveling.
Yeah, yeah. And he was a French national, I believe. So he wasn't here full time. Yeah.
No,
Whereas
no.
Soroka and Higashi and the others, Akutagawa and the others could spread. Yeah.
And
So,
I'm not sure like Chituru people in the past, they wanted to grow as a number. I'm not sure. I think they wanted to grow as keeping the quality, keeping people together. So it was hard to receive, like with Higashi Sensei. It's really hard to get grade. He doesn't give grade easily. But other group, like sometimes it's different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that can be a challenge too, because, people are attracted to the belts, the titles, the ranks, all of that. So given that, then, Canada obviously is a big country. Quebec is a big province, Ontario is a big province, British Columbia is a big province. And we're spread across, 4.5 time zones, or I think almost 5 time zones. Um, you know, do you see a pathway for Chito-Ryu to grow in Canada? Like, there's lots of potential, but do you have a picture in your mind of what the pathway could be for Chito-Ryu to spread more? Like, we've maintained the quality standards very, very high with Sensei Higashi especially, but how do we make it more known and more visible, do you think?
I think right now, and maybe it's the same for all style, because like Japanese style and Okinawan style, they are they, they are all good. See,
Mm,
Shotokan is good, a good friend. Like Wadoryu, Goju, I really like Goju. I went to Okinawa, visit the club. They are all super. So the human being made the style. See, so if you attract good people, your style will be good. So that's what Higashi Sensei have done. In a matter of the numbers, we need to discover how, or we need to discover the right instructor who wants to teach the kids. Because right now, I don't know, 75% of the members are 13 years old and under. So if you don't want to teach, so it's karate, but we need to have a program adapt to the karate at that age.
mhm.
Say we cannot teach, let's say, all the Goshin Jitsu in Chito-Ryu, teaching that to the kids. I'm not sure we should do that.
It's not safe.
But for the adult, that's something Chito-Ryu we have. Not all the
Mhm.
style have that.
Yeah.
All the style of karate have Goshin Jitsu Kata, but we have that. So we should
Mhm.
should demonstrate more that for the adult as part of self-defense, or as part of a system where if you base your training on reality-based training, you can adapt it for self-defense. For the kids, but for everybody, and Higashi Sensei and O Sensei, when you read some of his quotes, he's talking about helping the person to become a good citizen.
Mhm.
I really believe right now we need more Karate-do than ever. The society need more Karate-do than ever, because everything happened outside. We need people who's going to be able to teach how to become a good citizen. More teaching a little bit more morality, more how what is wrong and what is right. So I think we should focus on that in Chito-Ryu. And I'm going to talk about that with the people in the style and to make sure we help the young kids to become young adult who will have confidence in their future, and they're going to help to build a better society. So tomorrow's leader, that's really important. And in Chito-Ryu, we have, and the traditional karate, traditional Chito-Ryu, we have all that. The notion of Rigisao, the notion of etiquette, we have all that. It's up, it's up to us now.
I'm curious about your thoughts on, how to, if we're thinking about how a style like Chito-Ryu evolves over time, right? So we talked about the Soroka version of Chito-Ryu, and then in '79 the switch over to more of the Osensei vision of that, and somewhere in between there were gaps were being filled in. That Shotokan, the Heian katas and Pinan katas were being used. They were being replaced by the Kihon kata sets. Sakamoto Sensei and the second Soke kind of developed and introduced and so on over time. So, what are your thoughts on as Chito-Ryu evolves even more? How do you see introducing new elements into Chito-Ryu so that the curriculum evolves, but it stays true to the core principles of it?
See,
Are you following? Yeah, you follow what I'm saying? Yeah.
yes, because that kind of question, I think about that like a lot. So it's a really good question. Higashi Sensei took the curriculum from Japan, introduced it to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We developed the curriculum the way we understanding it, like having the Q manual, having the Yudensha manual. Higashi Sensei was the first. In Japan, they took it and they reproduced it. And they use it and they create their own now. So it's up to us to decide what we're going to do. Let's say Kobujitsu. We're talking about different martial arts. Last couple months ago in April, I went to Japan for a trip of 3 weeks with Lynn. We
Yes.
arrived in Okinawa, Kumamoto, Kyoto, and Tokyo. When I went to Okinawa, Kubudo and karate, it was one. It was not two separate things. Everybody they were talking about, and I went to Shoraido when they sell everything. I talked to them. I went to train with Zenpo Shimabukuro. I went to train with Tetsuri Okama Sensei
Mm-hmm.
and the famous karate museum. But
Yep.
Kubudo and karate was like together. So I think we have Chitobo. I think we should have a little bit of Ryukyu Kubujitsu in our curriculum, just to understand a bit more the culture and the history from going back to Okinawa. So maybe Bo, some kata, maybe Sai, maybe Tonfa, to learn it. Right now I'm a second dan, Nidan in Ryukyu Kubujitsu. With Kubujitsu now I understand a bit more about different way of fighting against a longer opponent, shorter, using different angle because they do that in Kubujitsu. I think we should use that. Next, instead of bringing something from the outside, I really believe we have everything in the style. Our Goshin Jitsu, I call that Goshin Jitsu Kata.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's say we learn Juniko or Nage no Kata.
Yeah.
In Judo, they have kata too.
Yep.
2 by 2, they do Nage no Kata, they do Goshin Jitsu Kata, different kata. But the way they're doing it, it's really basic. They use it in exercise, Randori and Shihai. That's what they do in Judo. But
Yeah.
the kata, it's like a book of concept.
Yes.
Now we need to use the concept we have in our traditional kata, Shohai and up, and Goshin Jitsu kata, and try to mix both and go deeper and understand. We call that Oyo Bunkai. So we use, let's say, something from the kata. We had something from the Goshin Jitsu kata, and it will become a self-defense movement.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to go to the next step, see, when they started karate, fighting was almost for real in the dojo. They learn. They say, no, whoa, we cannot do that. That doesn't work. If we want to have members. So now we do some sports fighting.
Yeah.
The best way to develop confidence with the kids. But what do we do with our Goshin Jitsu kata? Maybe, and I'm working on that. Maybe we should mix with the kata. That's why in Chito-Ryu 6 and 7 dan, you have to create your own bunkai. Now you have to think about, okay, all the curriculum, I have all the curriculum, what can I do with it? Now we have to create something with it. So we're going to ask people to think a little bit more. So try to discover deeper in our style what can be new to the people. And I really believe it's the application of the kata.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think context is very important as well, because, there's the old adage about, you're climbing a mountain, you reach the top, and then you climb another mountain and you have a new perspective on the mountain that you've climbed before. I think it's important to have personally, and I'm being selfish here, I my first experience and you can't really call it a martial art. It was Olympic style wrestling, right? So grappling is that's how I'm wired. I like to grab onto things. I like to twist them. I like to throw them, that kind of stuff. And it took me a while to make the connection between the katas in our, and I'm sure this is true of all other styles too, but the Chito-Ryu katas are really well set up to be grappling forms. There's a lot of wrist locks, there's a lot of throws, a lot of, joint manipulation, head manipulation, all these things, right? But they're not necessarily understood that way unless you have that kind of an outside perspective of that looks, we do the Yamazuki. That looks like a body lock when you're coming in on wrestling, you're grabbing somebody up and down, right? So, but it's very rarely seen as anything but a punch, and a punch, it took me a while to figure out that a punch is not always a punch. A punch could be a grab, a punch could be something else, right? So I guess this and I'm picking up on what you're saying about it's already in the style. It's already there. All the elements are there, but it's unless somebody's there to open the box and let people look in, it's not going to, at least in my perspective, I don't think it will evolve as well as it could or should, unless there's a people are encouraged to play, in it, right?
I totally agree. But the question is, and we are in an interview. Let's say it's a matter of how you are involved in the style. How you're involved. If you, let's say, sports karate, you got athletes in sports karate, they practice, they do 20 hours a week. People doing traditional karate, do they do 20 hours a week?
Not normally, no.
Not normally.
You might
Now,
do 3-4 hours, yeah.
Yeah, some dojo right now, they give class 45 minutes, 30 minutes. Their schedule, you see their schedule, because people right now, they want everything really fast. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay because people, they want that. So we have a big curriculum. You need to learn the curriculum for your belt because your belt, it's like there for the motivation. And you grow as a karateka or as a Chito-Ryu practitioner. But how many time you put to go deeper in the same kata? Instead of learning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 20 kata, learn one but go deeper.
Yeah.
Japanese thinking is more like that. They repeat the same thing over and over, going this way.
Yeah.
But in our way of learning, school education, it's this way.
Yeah.
It's so many different things.
Not as deep. Yeah.
See, when we do seisan and when that movement in seisan, so you do the hook punch and you block. So against the hook punch, we already have something, seisan kata, we can use this part. And after that, you can transfer and do a teodoki number 10. But it become a self-defense move. Now, if you want to be good in self-defense, now we need to switch. See, like in competition, the rules is going to tell you how you're going to train. So now if we talk about self-defense from outside, so your life matter, now you need to train, like you need to put police officer, because I taught at the police, at the college for the future police officer. They call that reality-based training. So we're going to put a helmet, I'm going to swing for real. You're going to block for real, and you're going to hit me back for real with special equipment.
Yeah.
Now we do reality-based training with something coming from Seisan Kata. Now we're going to see that kind of training. Who's going to do that? Everybody? I'm not sure.
Not everyone. Those who are motivated, though, to do
That's
it.
it. Now in the future, we need to have some special group. Some people, they're really good teaching the kids. They should be the one telling us what to do. Other people, they want to do more like sports aspect. We shouldn't be afraid to say to them, please come back and give us some advice what to do to develop the best athlete. And same thing for the self-defense part. Because the kata, I really believe kata, they're there to help us or muscle memory to use it for application 2x2. That's why we put that in 6 and 7 dan long time ago with the psycho-shan concept. We say now we need to create something where people, they're going to start to think. So I'm going to tell you, I remember when I was with Sensei Ferry, Sensei Gold, and we were with Higashi Sensei, he said for your 6 dan, you're going to do Kusanko Bunkai. Okay, bye. He went away. So we were together and we say, wow, he didn't show us what to do. But when we arrive at the exam, I'm going to be humble, we were really good, the three of us.
Mhm.
All different bunkai.
Yep.
Not the same, from the
Yeah.
same kata. But he asked us to create something. He put the necessity is the mother of invention. So because the necessity was the exam, he said, now you have to do your own bunkai. Don't ask me for help. Do your things.
Yeah.
And we were quite surprised and happy. We said, wow, we could, because he put us in a situation where we didn't have the choice. So we need to do that in the future.
Yeah. Would you wait though until 6th and 7th dan to do
So
it, or would you maybe introduce it earlier?
right now, I think we try to show a little bit to everybody. If we arrive and we show too much, let's say you train karate for 40 years, you're a Godan. Now we arrive and we do all different kind of application. You can't follow.
Yeah.
What's gonna
Plus you're
happen?
60 years old.
Yeah. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
People they're gonna quit.
Yeah.
So we need to be smart. We need to go from the top down. If we start, because if we do that with the younger kids, I got kids at the dojo, they're between 20 and 30. When we do Hoyo Bunkai, they learn it this way, really fast. So if we do that to them, they're going to go like this, but the people at the top, it's going to be, so we need to be smart. So it takes times. But at the same time, we can have some small group and try things. Why not? Try.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the Sensei James Ferry and I speak about this a lot, and the idea of skunk works, like he's an engineer, and there's where the real innovation happens is kind of off to the side. You do your regular business, but off to the side you have the small group that plays with things, right? And then sometimes things get brought back into the mainstream and it gets adopted, right? But
And
unless
Higashi
you do
Sensei is
that, the mainstream will never evolve, right? At least at the speed that it could or should.
yeah. We just need to be humble, to open our mind, to adhere to the Shoshin philosophy, spirit of a beginners, and don't be afraid. Like, see, we train together. Let's say we invite somebody who's a Godan and he was a judo champion, or we have Kayla Harrison. She's a judo female UFC top athlete right now.
Yep.
Two-time gold medal at the Olympics.
Yep.
Let's say we do Seisan Bunkai. I'm sure she's going to see a lot of self-defense move
Mm-hmm.
because of her experience. So we need to bring that in the association.
Yeah.
But we need to do that in a way, and I always say the same thing. We need to protect the older one, and we need to give some space to the younger one.
Yeah.
If the younger one with their enthusiasm, they motivate the older one, and the older one they support the younger generation, we're going to create what we want. No limit. Sky is the limit. But if we go the younger against the younger against the older, the association is going to fall apart.
Yeah. It's not going to go well.
No.
Yeah. So actually so this is one of my favorite topics, talking about self-defense and self-protection and so on. Um, how much emphasis would you in your mind, like how much of the training should be focused on that? because you talked about the 20-25 minute classes. People just want to come in and sweat and get a workout. Other people are more focused about being very technically correct, the self-mastery kind of thing. And then there are others that are really focused on, I want to be able to really protect myself, and which is obviously the original reason for this whole thing to begin with, right? How much of an emphasis should be placed on that as somebody who's training?
Okay. I don't know how much time, but if we go back,
Yeah,
before the 2000, in the 19th century, they were using martial arts to protect the king and other people.
yeah,
After that, they use it to protect their family. When they arrive at the 2000 year, 1900 year,
yeah.
samurai,
I see. Yeah,
they stop the samurai. So Iaijitsu become Iaido. Karate become Karate-do. Jiu-jitsu become Judo. They took all the really bad techniques, tough techniques, dangerous techniques, they put it out. Same thing for karate. So right now, and during those periods, people that were doing karate for themselves to become the best human being. That's Honori Nikatsu. And after that, it became a sport. Super elite athletes in judo going to the Olympics. Same thing for karate people. Sandra Sanchez from Spain, she trained in karate like crazy. You should see her doing the kata. She's a couple-time world champion and gold medal at the Olympics. Amazing. Nobody is doing kata like her, but she's doing that full time.
Mhm.
For the self-defense, when you are in a peaceful world, what's the motivation to do it for self-defense? And now I was talking with the police officer training at the dojo. He said, in my 40 years of the job, 30 something years, the best one was the rear naked choke. And a
And
good
now they're not
feeling.
allowed to use it.
See, and him, he used it like so many times.
Yeah,
He said, don't complicate all the everything, but put it in the reality-based training. I went to the police academy. The first thing they've done with all the equipment was a timing sen no sen maigiri, basic karate technique. I said,
mhm,
wow. And the SWAT team in Gatineau, they use my dojo for training. Sometimes one training I went, because normally they don't want me to go and to look at the training, but one training was somebody wanted to take your gun. And the way they were doing it, it was like basic karate things, judo
yeah,
things, basic. But the difference is I can hit for real.
yeah.
So we need to bring back the reality-based training. So we're going to discover what works and what doesn't work. But who's going to do that? We need to find, I really believe in create some subcommittee
Yep.
and people who train with that, bring back what they discover, and like teaching kata, teaching sport kumite, they teach more realistic self-defense. And we need to have a progression, start really slow.
Hmm.
Don't start full kumite with somebody who just learned it. And when GSP was preparing for his fighting, the week before, he was not doing full blast. See, he was preparing mentally to be ready for the fight.
Yeah.
And even him, he was saying it's not the same as a fight in a bar.
Hmm.
So GSP in an interview said fighting in a bar is totally different. I don't want to fight in a bar.
Yeah. There's no rules,
There's no rules.
no referee. Yeah.
Still MMA. And I saw last weekend, it was a Vancouver UFC. A guy from Montreal, he's done a flying knee strike. Toby knee strike. Hit the
Mm.
guy, fall down, finish with a strangulation.
Yeah.
Let's say we were discussing about that, and I've told you that a flying knee strike, that's really work. People are gonna say no. Who's gonna do that? Him. Because he trained it, he had the strategy and the tactic around it, and he used it in a sport environment. So I think if the goal is you should do that 80% of your training. If you want to become an elite athlete, you should do 80% of the training for that. See, my student, we had the chance to meet Antonio Oliva Seba 15 years ago, around 15 years ago. Oliva Seba is the best he was, because late on he just passed away last year. He's a 10 dan. He's a 10 dan with the WKF.
Yeah.
Yeah. He coached so many athletes. He had a system about tactical and strategy and everything that's famous. He became my mentor in Kumite. He told me a long time ago, 15 years ago, he said, Germain, you produce the best group of young athletes coming up. But I don't know why you're asking them to do 2 classes a week on traditional Chito-Ryu. You want them to become elite at the world? Stop doing this. Because they had to, if they wanted to compete, they had to do the kata and traditional twice a week, plus after that, sports committee.
Yeah.
I dropped the 2 class and I had 2 more committee class, so it was 6 times a week about fighting. I got 6 or 7 who placed at the Pan Am. They were super good. Especially, I got 4 girls. They finished second at the Pan Am, senior Pan Am, but they were focusing on sport committee. So if you want to be good at something, you put everything on that.
Yeah. I interviewed a gentleman who's become a bit of a mentor for me too, a couple of years ago. His name is Bill Wolf, and I bring him up often because he's had a real impact on my view of martial arts and training and self-defense and whichever. And I asked him a question about why is it that people that are martial artists often get in trouble in a street fight, a street altercation, whichever, they get injured, they get beaten. And he said, well, the problem is that you're not training to fight. You're training to do katas, you're training to do kumite, you're not training to fight. So if you focus on the goal, then yeah, the training should determine what the goal is, right? Like you said about the rules, the competition determines how the training goes. So yeah.
See, I'm gonna tell you something happened. One of my students was a blue belt long time ago. 6'4", skinny guy, was with the Sûreté du Québec, Quebec police officer.
Yep.
It was supposed to have a big manifestation in Quebec. So he said to me and Rock Laflamme, "Can we train a little bit with you? You're gonna play a role as to be a manifester, somebody outside that doesn't want to move from the street." At first, it was pacific, but at the end, we were screaming at them. We were trying to hit them. So for the first time in my life, I saw the selling in the floor.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I said, wow. My brother-in-law was outside. The office was close to the dojo. We were screaming. He thought we were fighting for real. But my student, he went to Quebec for the manifestation, but he received brick. He received pool ball throw at him. He said, we never trained that.
Yeah.
We didn't train that. So because now they adapt all the time. People outside, the criminal, they adapt, they change the rule all the time.
Yeah.
So even them with their training, they were not prepared 100%.
They need more people to throw pool balls at them. Perhaps, that would be an interesting addition to the dojo.
Yeah.
Tonight is.
But see, the dojo now. If we go back to our association, Chito-Ryu or any style, as a group, we have a curriculum. We need to be honest to the style, or you create your own thing, like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee took almost everything good. You get rid of what he believed was not good, and he created Jeet Kune Do, a super style. Perfect. Personally, I wanted to follow a style with the philosophy of creating a good human being. So the fight is against yourself, not against somebody else. So that's majority of the people, they're going to do that. But in your dojo, some people, they should do They should train to learn how to defend themselves. But it's going to be like doing kumite, a small group, doing competition, another small group. Self-defense training is going to be a different group. So we have to do that if we want to answer all the needs to the people.
So, as someone who's had, tremendous international experience, national experience, and lots of exposure to different martial arts for more than 5 decades, as a practitioner, an instructor, competitor. In your opinion, are there things that Chito-Ryu teaches particularly well as compared to other, and not to impugn any other styles, but every system, every style has its own strengths and so on. What do you think are the strengths of Chito-Ryu in the system that is taught?
I think everything we do is a little bit more natural, especially the stance. I always say sandashi, it's a little bit like fighting stance in kumite.
Because
So
it's higher and not as
yes,
long
higher
as, yeah,
and more natural. I think that's really important. More
yeah.
natural. Having Goshin Jitsu in our kata, it's a big plus.
Hmm.
Not every style they have that. We have some kata, it's like very old kata, like Seisan is one of the oldest kata. So Seisan, Basai, Shinto, Kusanku. So we are connected with the traditional Okinawan karate. Other stuff is a little bit more like Japanese. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because of O-sensei and Higashi sensei, Chito-Ryu put a lot of emphasis on behave correctly. See, Higashi sensei promote that a lot. As a leader, you promote that we behave as a good citizen. That's really important. So the philosophy of Chito-Ryu, that's really important. But the mistake we made, it's like when I said to Sensei Charles Benfield, Nisei Shimunkai #1 is going to be this. #2. So I don't let you think to discover. So I tell you what to do. So
Yeah.
our Goshin Jitsu Kata, people, they learn it by heart. They
Yeah.
don't learn it to use it. So the Hoyo Bunkai or the Bunkai we ask, like a 6th Dan or it could be at 2nd Dan, we decide 6th and 7th Dan. Now you have to think how to use. Because of the necessity of creating something, you're going to work hard and you're going to create that. So having our Goshin Jitsu, it's a big plus.
Hmm.
But to put, let's say, Hanshu on the chart and saying #1, #2, #3, you don't have to work now. You just look at the chart and you learn it by heart.
Yeah.
See? So I think having Goshin Jitsu, so Chitose Sensei was really intelligent. Not everybody have done that. Not majority of other style, they don't have kata like that. But now we need to be more creative and use it in a different way. Not just doing it by heart. The way they're doing, they have concept in it. We need to discover how to use this concept. When we talked about tsukuri, kuzushi, kake, when we do that during a class, somebody from the outside could look at the class and say, wow, that's a judo class. When we do Teodoki no Waza, maybe they could say, ah, they're doing some Aikido stuff.
Yeah.
We have all that in Chito-Ryu. But the worst part, the little mistake we've done is to learn it by heart and repeat the same thing, repeat the same thing. Now, just say, use a Teodoki no Waza in one movement of your kata. Now we're going to ask people to the necessity of create something. That should be the future. But Higashi Sensei, just imagine, Higashi Sensei became the first black belt of Tsuruoka Sensei. After so many years, he had to make a big decision.
Hmm.
I'm going to leave my instructor and I'm going to follow O-Sensei Chitose. Just imagine how hard it would have been to him. He followed O-Sensei. From the curriculum he learned, he had to learn everything again. So he went with O-Sensei. So now he gave us that. After so many years, from 79 to today, that's a lot of year. He gave all the information to us. Now it's up to us. The next step, it's up to us. So, so the Chito-Ryu, we have that. What we're gonna do with it? It's up to you, me, James, all the people. So Chito-Ryu, I really like the philosophy because it comes from Okinawa and Japanese Budo. In Okinawa, they don't use like the Budo thing. It's more Japanese. But Okinawa, they use karate for health during their year. Yes, they train to defend themselves, but they train to be healthy. That's why they have so many people. So when you go there, a guy at 70 years old, he doesn't say he's old. I'm young, I'm still young, I can practice. So the thinking is totally different. So we have the traditional from Okinawa. That's why I went to Okinawa, because I wanted to know, and I'm going to go more often. I'm going to go a couple times for sure, because I want to feel the culture. Japanese, they have a long history of jitsu, jiu-jitsu, yai-jitsu, kyu-jitsu. They have lots of. So we have that. Then O-sensei Chitose, he accept to change Tode to Karate-do, because Funagoshi Sensei has it, and he really respect Funagoshi Sensei. So we have the Budo aspect. With Higashi Sensei, because he was a fighter, we have the sports aspect. But we need to talk about that, not confronting Budo and sports karate. It's the same thing. It's how you're going to use the technique of karate, what purpose you're going to do behind the technique. What is your intention? To do a point at a tournament, or to defend myself? Or I'm going to repeat thousands of times to develop perseverance, courage, determination, humility. I'm going to develop the Shoshin philosophy. So we have all that in Chito-Ryu Karate. And it's because of O-sensei Chitose, Shiroka Sensei, Higashi Sensei. In Canadian history, Chito-Ryu, we have that. The first 10 dan at Karaté Canada is O-sensei Shiroka, 2006. The second 10 dan, Sensei Shane Higashi, his first black belt. Just imagine, we're writing a book now.
Yeah.
How a beautiful book would. So we start Shiroka Sensei, first person brought karate. Just imagine Shiroka Sensei at his size, when karate was like male fighting for real. What kind of character and attitude he should have? I'm sure he was like a real fighter. Sensei Gashi, same thing. But both of them, they were talking about become a better human being at the end of their life. Why? You read O-sensei's quotes, he said the same thing. Funagoshi Sensei, he said the same thing. Why? You do karate to become the best human being you can be, the best version of yourself. Honore Nikatsu. You fight. So the fighting spirit, first, it's against yourself, not against somebody. You don't want to be in a fight. But let's say you're working in a prison. You need to know how to defend yourself. You're a police officer in Gatineau. It's not that tough. In Montreal, it's tougher. In Toronto, I heard that it's really tough against street gang. So you need to learn how to defend yourself. So in Chito-Ryu, we have all that. It depends on how we're going to use it, I think.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't want to say it's the best style. Every style of karate, the instructor, the founder, create the style. The human being, the student, the people who train, they're going to say if it's good or not. If you have good people, it's going to be a good style.
So here's a question I like to ask as many people as possible. What does a Shodan mean to you?
That's a good question, especially in the modern time. See, karate was for a small group of people. If we go back in the days, it was for protect the king, protect the people, protect your family. So you were not teaching to everybody. Now everybody can do karate. So what the system in place was not for the kids. They didn't have any belt, they didn't have any grade, they didn't have any dan. It was created by Jigoro Kano in judo.
Yeah.
So they create the dan. So now they needed to have a system. So they create a system. So they say at that level, you need to learn this and that and that. It was not for the kids. So if we're talking about kids, we should have a special curriculum for them, especially about morality, respect, gratitude, compassion. We should teach that and some basic technique. Them, the kids, they should do sports fighting. The best way to discover the timing, the distance, to deal with the pressure, and maybe just do kumite in the class or going competition where you have all the stress is in it. Because now we have a lots of kids. Personally, I don't think we should give that Shodan before 16 years old. You want to give us something to the kids? The junior black belt, I'm okay. 14 years old. Brown belt at 12, that's okay. But it's with a special curriculum. It's like the elderly people. Now we have people who start karate at 70. Are we going to ask for the same curriculum? Impossible. So we need to adapt. Let's say we have people with special needs. Are we going to use the same curriculum? No, we're going to adapt it.
Yeah.
See,
but would you use the same belt system though for those populations?
The belts, yeah, I think the belt system, it's okay, but it's more the curriculum in it. So the kids, they should not have the same belt. So I like the idea we have with the belt, with everything written in white.
White stripe, yeah.
That's right. So it's still a black belt, but they know it's a junior black belt. After that, you need to learn the curriculum. But these kids, when they will arrive at 17, 18, 20, in kumite, they're going to beat majority of the adult. So they will have to learn Goshinjitsu now, Teodoki no Waza, Taisawaki, Juniko, Nage no Kata. They're going to learn it just like this. And they're going to help the adult to do kumite safety-wise because they can control. Adult, when they learn kumite, they want to fight, especially men at 40, they want to hit everybody. They don't control themselves. But you bring the kids who have a lot of experience in kumite when they were young, the control is almost perfect. So 16 years old, adult curriculum, they do the adult curriculum. So at my dojo, not too many have it at the 16 years old. It's more 17 and 18. But if somebody is good, is learn, that's okay. Why not? I think we should not stop them to improve.
Right. So on the other end of the spectrum then, so I asked you about Shodan. What does that mean to you? What about the title of Hanshi? What in your mind, what does that mean?
I was quite surprised when I received it. I think
Well,
it's
yeah, I guess
no,
I'm referring to your promotion as well as the title itself, like the you know
no.
the
But I
title of
really,
Hanshi.
if we're talking about teaching, so Jun Shidoin, Shidoin, Shihan, Renshi, Kyoshi, Hanshi. A Shihan should be somebody who can have, I think, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. Shihan should be somebody who can run a dojo. He can pass his grade up to brown belt. So he
Yeah,
can produce, and he prepares student to become a Yondan. When you are Renshi, it means your minimum Godan. If you look at our curriculum, up to Godan, we're going to have, at the end of Godan, you're going to do all the curriculum. After that, it's different. So Renshi, you need to be able to prepare somebody up to, so it's a teaching thing.
mm-hmm.
If you don't teach, now it becomes harder and harder. In your way of teaching, if we look at, I don't want to compare myself to anybody, but if we look at Higashi Sensei, from a fighting club to a human being, to develop good human being through the year, he changed. He was really tough as an instructor physically, but he
Yeah,
became more like a philosopher at the end of his life.
mm-hmm.
I think Hanshi's more that. Sensei Chitose, he produced like Yamamoto Sensei, really famous, world the Japanese championship. He was like
Yeah.
an animal. He wanted us to fight everybody, a tiger, everything. But at the end of his life, Sensei Chitose was talking about helping the young generation to become good citizen. See, so I think it's respect the Shohari principle, Shingitai, and at the end of your life, let's say my dad is 99 years old. He just turned 99 years old. He got all his head. He got physically, he can walk 2 kilometers. He's like amazing. At the end of his life, he just want to be peaceful. He doesn't want any trouble. He doesn't want anything. So at the end, so what is the life of a karateka? So maybe it's to become a good grandfather, a good father to the people who train with you, to help
Yeah.
them to become. So Hanshi should be exactly what Higashi Sensei, outside Chito-Ryu, they call him the gentleman karateka. So the gentleman, he knows how to behave. He knows how to have a good composure. So
Right.
Higashi Sensei have that. So when you talk to other style, they say, wow, oh, you're with Higashi Sensei. He's a real gentleman. They don't say, long time ago, Fern Cléroux once said to me, oh, Higashi, he didn't call Higashi Sensei. He said, Higashi, he was a really good fighter. But now people, they say he's a gentleman.
Yeah.
So maybe when you have the title, and some instructor, they said to me, tell me who are your student. I'm going to tell you how good you are as an instructor. So look at the people you develop, and maybe it's going to tell you how good that person is as an instructor.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, the title of Hanchi is more than just a license or just a certificate. It's an example. You mean
I think so.
yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
I'm
It's not
sure I'm not.
something that you collect, right? It's something that you grow into, I guess, evolve
Yeah, I
into.
think so. Yeah. And we're lucky we have a role model for us, a mentor. And because I was involved with Karate Quebec, Karate Canada, sports, traditional, and Kubujitsu now. So I went to, in 2016, I went to Japan to train in Ryu Kubujitsu. And they were talking about Higashi Sensei as not as a karateka, as a Kubujitsuka. Like how amazing he was. But how amazing he was as a human being. Good with everybody, controlling everybody. He didn't like the argument going bad against two people. He wanted to everybody to like Chito-Ryu Crest, to be
Yeah.
like. So we're lucky. We have somebody, we have a mentor where we should look at him, up to him.
Do you have a favorite quote or concept that guides you in your approach to training and teaching? And this could be from anywhere. It could be from a philosopher, Eastern, Western, whichever. It could be
Yeah.
a martial arts concept or a quote, whichever. But what inspires you? What kind of gives you that guiding
It
light?
ev- it it evolves through the year. Like when I was younger, I looked at Bruce Lee as the invincible guy. He was fighting 20 people with his nunchaku. He beat everybody. And after that, I was drawn to the Rocky movie.
Mm,
I know it was a movie, but Rocky was the guy who was not supposed to win, but with hard work, Chito Marama Kanarastas, you can reach your goal. And after that, I had big picture of Walt Disney. Think big. See,
mm,
start with something with a small mouse, and you create an empire. See, that's helped me a lot to develop Karate Kama, and after that, I discovered that we should work as one big family. In my dojo, we say Kyozan Kyoe. Kyozan Kyoe means mutual friendship to mutual prosperity. So I come from a big family, eight in
mm.
the family, in a small town where everybody knows everybody. When we organize for the team Kama, for the competition team, a golf tournament, we raised close to $10,000. Spaghetti dinner, once it was close to $12,000. Everybody, they're there to support us. So in
Mhm.
the dojo, we support each other. The white belt, they're there. We said that they're the king in the dojo. So the black belt, we are the slave. We are there to help them to grow up to become the best. Like a big family. I come from a big family. So I was the
Yeah.
number seven. It was never my fault. It was always my older sister, older brother's fault. So a big family, you stick together and you try. So, and now Higashi Sensei, a couple years ago, he teach us Chito-Ryu Hishin, one heart, one big family in the
Yeah.
Chito family. So Kyozan Kyori for me means a lot. So we sometimes we have it in the back of our karate gi. I learned that in a movie, the documentary of some Okinawan dojo, long time ago. In the dojo, they had the calligraphy, kanji, Kyozan Kyoi. I said, that's it. So when I saw
That's cool too.
Higashi Sensei, he was like a grandfather teaching the kids. So I joined. The best decision. Create the dojo. I got, I don't know, 5 or 6 people who they are with me for the last 40 years. So the dojo was built not by Germain Bisson, by a group of people who were there for one purpose, helping others. So helping others, it's they become our instructor. So
Mhm.
when you teach, your student become your teacher. So it helped us to grow as a group, and now we got, I think, maybe 70 brown and black belt. So in a dojo of right this year, right now we got 230 something registered student. Long time ago, we were close to 500. We had 4 satellite dojo. Now we have only one small satellite dojo. The goal is to have 200 members. But they're there for us. They're there for me for the last 40 years. Just imagine you got somebody you see 3, 4 times a week for the last 40 years. So we become like a community
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a small town where everybody knows everybody. So for us, it was like, wow. So we built one big family, Karaté Cama. Kyozan Kyoe.
So looking back over the over 5 decades of your martial arts career, um, if you could do it all over again, is there anything that you would do differently that you would change?
No,
No?
no, I really like because I really think things happen for a reason. See, my parents, they moved from a place to come here.
Mhm.
Because of that, I was able to learn karate. I was able to learn karate because my dad wanted me to gain confidence. So my dad's decision made me start karate. In karate with Sensei Kingsbury, he loves sports. So and sports, I really like the sports aspect of karate as a coach. But I discovered the true meaning of Budo because Luc Maisonneuve, my good friend, said to me, we are invited to Ottawa Chitokai summer camp. Because of Harvey Brown, I had the chance to meet Higashi Sensei. Higashi Sensei said to me, you're going to keep your black belt. So he didn't put me down. He accepted who I was. And but I made a mistake. I said, Sensei, I'm going to forget everything. He said, no, 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 bring that to us.
Mhm.
But he challenged me. He put me in front of everybody. You said you're Sandan, follow the kata. I knew he wanted to test me. But after that, I discovered Higashi Sensei. And Higashi Sensei become a mentor. So I didn't want to change. But I can tell you that when I was practicing with Patrick Auger, he asked me, Germain, would you like to go to Shizuoka to become a Uchideshi to Minoru Mochizuki Sensei? At that time, I was with Lynn. We didn't have any kids. I had 150, but he said, you have to quit everything. And I
Mhm.
thought about it. And I said, no, I have a second family with Karate Kama.
Yeah.
If I go, what are they going to do? See, so everything happened for a reason. So I have confidence in life. But if you make the right decision, so decision it was really tough. Let's say quitting my friend Luc Maisonneuve, saying to him, look, now I'm going to follow Yashi Sensei, was really tough because what he was one of my friends. At the last, Black Belt Hall of Fame in Laval. He was there too because he's a member of the Black Belt. He said to me, Germain, I'm proud of you. I'm proud
Mm.
of you. You become with Higashi Sensei with the Jap. I knew you liked the Japanese guy. Remember, and we started to laugh. But he said, I didn't want to. He was more of a kumite guy. He said, I didn't want to learn all the new kata. Everything was too much for me. But he said, for you, I'm so happy to see where you are right now. You see that the decision was really tough those days, become one of the best decisions in my life. And the best decision when Lynn, my wife, started karate. And after a couple of years, we become husband and wife. And now we got three
Yeah.
good kids. So I don't
No,
want to change anything.
no regrets. Yeah, of
No
course.
regrets.
So, okay, so maybe a flip side question then to that is there anything that you know now that you wish you knew sooner? Like knowledge that you have now that you wish 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, whatever. If you knew that then,
Yeah. See, when I
is there
was in
anything like that?
sports, when I was coaching, the dojo, we traveled in 42 different countries. That's a lot of country. Personally, I went to 20 different countries. So I wanted to reach the top from 1992 to 2018. Every second year, we send a Karaté Cama athlete at the World Senior Championship.
Hmm.
So that's a lot. So my goal was maybe a little bit too much on have good result. So I think it was my ego because of the ego we have. So I wanted to win a medal at the world.
Yeah.
We won five fifth place at the senior world, three fifth place. We could have won 8 medals. We have zero. But fifth place at the world is still good, I think. But during those days, I had opportunity for more traditional, but I said, oh, I'm going to do that later. So this year, I went to Okinawa. I should have gone to Okinawa maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago because what
Yeah.
I saw in Okinawa is like he's perfect, but that's okay.
Yeah. But if you went 10 years ago, 15 years ago, do you think you would have been ready to accept the knowledge that you gained
Maybe not.
now?
No, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Because
Yeah.
see, with the sports, I was able to bring the best in the world in my dojo.
Hmm.
See, because we have the number of students, so when we organize a seminar, so I had 100 participants from the dojo. So we make it was profitable. So sports-wise, I saw the best in the world. Now, now I'm going to try, but I understand that now in Chito-Ryu, just with all the senpai we have, it's crazy. We don't talk about that enough. In our association, we got, I don't know the number of people who started karate 50 years ago. All the people who started karate before 1975.
Hmm.
Sensei McInnes, Sensei Smith, Sensei Ferry, Sensei Golds, Sensei Harvey Brown, Sensei Steve Parker, Sensei Chung, Sensei Donald Mazerol. We got so it's incredible what we have inside. So we got younger guys, James Ferry, who started karate when he was not a baby, but close to be a baby.
There's two. Yeah.
See the number. See, my wife Lynn, she's 52. She started karate when she was 12. Just imagine. So in this association, we have that. We have
Mhm.
so many older people, but not that old. Murray Sutherland, Jim Hart, Noel Francesco. See, Sensei Murray Sutherland was a student of Churoka when at the same time as Higashi Sensei. They are in our association.
Yeah.
We have so much in the association. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's certainly a brain trust, you know.
No, it is that's why we need to be smart. And we're talking about Chito-Ryu in the open interview. Well, that's okay. That's why we need to be smart with the members we have to keep them and make sure, like I'm gonna say the same thing. Protect it because my mom, she died when she was 84. My dad is 99. So And I started the elderly class long time ago because an old lady, she came to me and said, I want to do karate. She was 70 something. I said, wow. But now I got our oldest lady, she's 82, for Dan.
Yeah.
She's beautiful to see when she do the kata.
Yeah.
So we have that in our style, we have all that. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's any issue with, much of this conversation being about Chito-Ryu, because I think a lot of the things that you're talking about are universal. Like they
Yeah.
apply to any organization, whether it's karate or jiu-jitsu or whatever else, right? The other thing too is that a lot of people don't know a lot about Chito-Ryu. A lot of people that are outside of the organization, right?
Mhm.
And so, I really, I think I really appreciate you coming on and being as open as you've been, um, to share, your not only your own experiences, but also, a bit of the history of Chito-Ryu, because we've never really gotten into that so much in past people that I've had on there that are part of the association, like Sensei Chong, um, you know, your wife, and several others that we've had on there, and also some former Chito-Ryu practitioners like Sensei Giffen, Sensei Robertson, and others, right? So
All
no,
great,
I
all
think
great
I think
karateka.
this is
They
what's
are
that,
all
sir?
great, they are all great karateka.
Yeah,
Sensei Giffen, Sensei Robertson's like they're I was with Sensei Robertson at the Hall of Fame. He was
yeah,
there because Rebecca Coury received a prize. So we
yeah,
talked in it because we were together in the Quebec Association. It was like we met for I don't know how many years. It was so nice to talk to each other.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, so again, whether this is specific to Chito-Ryu or not, I think the lessons that people will pull from this, I think, are universal. So, and I appreciate that. And I again, I think this is the most that I think that we've ever spoken.
Yes.
And I really enjoy it. I hope there's
Oh,
I
I
know you're
really
busy.
enjoy
I know
too.
you're a busy man, and I know there's lots happening all the time, and you're going to be taking on a very, very well, you already have, but when Sensei Higashi retires, you're the successor. You've been named, so there's going to be lots to do. So I appreciate having the time with you, now to talk about this.
I thank you. Thank you very much. It's an honor because I look at some people who were on the your podcast, so I was a little bit nervous, especially for the with the English, but I think I was not that bad. But
Not
thank
that
you
bad at
very much.
all. No, I
Thank you
would
very
I
much. It's
would
an
give you a
honor.
passing grade, no problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
Keep that in mind when you see me when you're on the other side of a table.
Oh, that's a that totally different game.
Okay, I won't hold you to it then. So, no, again, seriously, really, really appreciate you coming on. Anything you wanted to add that we haven't covered, like where people can find the Karate
Eh,
Kama and
Yes, I would like to say something about karate in general.
sure,
See, in karate or Karate-do or Okinawan karate or Japanese karate or French people, they have l'Académie Française de Karaté. It's not Japanese karate, it's the French Karate Academy. That's not that important. Important is the human being who are doing karate.
hmm,
We are one big family of martial artists.
yep,
Karate plus all the other, because every martial arts, we say the same. We want to help the people to become the best citizen. I have people who I admire, like, I don't know, I got like Sensei Cesar Brakowski. I remember was I was doing open tournament. He was like famous with the bull. He had a lots of success with his enterprise with the dojo, but
yep,
still he's a humble man. But Cesar Brakowski, Jean Frenette, John Terrien from the other day we were laughing because people from karate in Outaouais long time ago, they were not talking to each other. Karate dojo, they were fighting against each other, and karate against jiu-jitsu. But now everybody, they are one big family.
yeah,
We are martial artists. And martial artists, we fight for what is the right. We fight for the justice. We fight for the happiness of the people. So I think that's the most important thing is Everybody will do, especially Japanese martial arts. I don't know too much about the others, but Japanese martial art, Okinawan karate, we are one big family and we should support each other. You never heard Higashi Sensei said bad thing against another style. You didn't hear me saying bad thing against another style. Every style are good if the human being doing that style are good. So the people they're making the style good or not. So we
Yeah.
are one big family. So it's really important to respect each other. Don't talk against each other. Try to work together.
Yeah.
I
Keep
think that's
politics out of it where you can.
yes, exactly.
That's the key. Yeah. Well, on that note, I think that's a great way to end off. Again, Sensei, I really, really am honored that you agreed to do this interview. I expect we will probably see you on some other podcasts at some point soon.
Yeah.
And again, thank you so much for sharing your experiences, sharing your thoughts and your knowledge, and I look forward to seeing you again in person.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you. Thank you.